Do you hear that? That sound, right? That means that summer's officially here. It means that grown adults just sprint into the street for a frozen dessert shaped like a cartoon. But this summer, Mint Mobile has a better treat. Every plan, including unlimited, is $15 a month. And unlike ice cream, it won't drip down your wrist or look nothing like the picture. Does anyone have any cash? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. New customer offer for initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Hey, this is Lou Mangello from WDW Radio, and you're listening to the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. Let's do this.
The Duchess, we continue all the way to episode 536 of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast, and it's a great, big, beautiful today and tomorrow to be a Disney fan. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week with the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany Bangor.
This is Sally from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Bit of a brain fart there for a second. But we move on. We brain fart and then move on.
Exactly.
So, again, apologies about the random lack of no episode last week. I don't know what's happening. I'm not a doctor or a virologist or anything, but I can't speak, and if I can't speak for other places, but at the school I work, it ain't good. It's not good. You'd think it was the middle of cold and flu season. The way that people and kids are just dropping like flies with illness, it's not pretty. by any means, and unfortunately I have been witness to some of it. The kids that came to school and then been sent home by the nurse, and for reasons you can probably guess. My body tried to catch it last week, and thankfully I think I cut it off at the head, so it was just mildly uncomfortable, but it did cause me to sleep for almost 24 hours. So or at least become very much the my own version of a Snorlax or some sort of very sleepy, slow. I was a slowpoke. Pokemon for a while, so but fingers crossed toes that I don't catch it or anything else again. I'm getting my flu shot as soon as it's available, please and thank you. But anyway, because of that, our planned episode schedule took a little
Detour.
A little detour, so Spidey is currently in the back seat, waiting for his turn next episode, hopefully, knock on wood. So that we could talk about Disney Fandom Christmas. But before we get to that, we do have some news and some feedback, of course. First up, some news. This is sad. So,
Yes.
Hayden Panettiere, the cheerleader, Save the World, among other roles, has died at the age of 36.
I thought to tell you the truth, I thought she was actually older than that. I was kind of shocked. I mean,
She's my age. Like I don't remember. I actually thought she was a little younger, but maybe because I just recently watched something with her that was her as younger, so my brain kind of did like that weird.
yeah. Well, I can remember when Heroes came on, but I must have, for some reason, I must have thought she was older than she actually was. So, but it's still,
Yeah.
oy, oy, oy.
Well, I mean, she was playing a high schooler, and a lot of times high schoolers are played by people who are
Played
much
by,
older. So,
and I think that's
That's
probably
true.
where my mind went.
yeah, yeah.
I
So,
forgot that she played the little girl in Realm of the Titans. I was like,
mm,
oh, that's right.
yeah. So, yeah, 36. Uh, we don't know cause of death. They're supposedly going to do an autopsy, so I guess at some point we'll get an answer. Considering she was very open about her struggles with addiction and postpartum depression and abuse and a number of other things. She had it rough.
Yes.
And I, if not being a doctor by any means, is my guess that it might have been kind of a Carrie Fisher type thing where
Hmm.
she went through a lot, and even though she came out the other side and has been clean and sober, that can take a toll on the body, and sometimes you end up to paraphrase a certain wizard, the bill comes due.
Hmm.
Mm,
So it's that may seem harsh to some, but it's just it's an unfortunate you know consequence when you don't treat your body well. Unfortunately, some
Hmm.
people play hard, run hard, and they take a licking and keep on ticking. Look at Keith Richards. Uh, you know, and then there's some people that just, so many years of substance abuse and trauma, which, affects both the mind and the body. Um, Speaking from experience, unfortunately, um, that sometimes it takes a toll, and there's the body does what the body does, unfortunately, and sometimes it
mhm.
just can't bounce back. I could be completely off guard. It could have been, I mean, they say she was in cardiac arrest when she was found. It could be maybe she just had a random cardiac issue. There's something like wrong with her heart, like structurally, something that was never found before. Who knows? I could be
Right.
completely off base, but based on what we do know, you know, two and two often makes four.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
but regardless of the cause of her death, it's sad because she was so young. She leaves behind a daughter, um, who is not going to grow up without a mother. Her daughter's 12, so I mean she's
Yeah.
old enough. She's going to remember this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
um, and uh, we can just only hope that Hayden's friends and family can be there to help her daughter get through the loss of her mother, um, and hopefully not have to deal with some of the trauma and things that her own mother had to go through. She just released her memoir in May. She was a child actor, and unfortunately, she kind of went the stereotypical route uh, of some of the things that the horror stories that we've heard from other former child actors, either stuff they unwise, immature decisions they made, or things that were done to them because they were young and naive and didn't know any better. People took advantage of that. So, but she had been very open after having her daughter about her issues with postpartum depression
Hmm.
and the like, which is
Yeah.
in
Well,
in the realm of mental health, that is one of the very taboo.
yeah.
When you're a mom, you don't talk about how hard being a mom is.
And then
Mhm.
also the backlash she got when she knew she was in a
Yes.
bad spot and temporarily gave away her rights
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that she could get herself back on track to be there for her daughter.
Mhm.
Right.
They should not have shamed her. They should have been giving her credit for doing that, because
Mhm.
not many people would do that
Mhm.
Right.
And be open about it.
and be open about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of thing that people do behind closed doors and hope that
Right.
nobody ever finds out. But
Right.
yeah, no, that was extremely brave of her to realize that
Mhm.
she was not the best person to be raising her daughter. And she didn't want to expose, she didn't want to expose her daughter, I'm sure, to that, because that's
Right.
traumatizing for the child as well. Because
Mhm.
Right.
they are way more observant and absorb way more than people give little kids credit for.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Even when they're very very little, it's even if they don't have the words and the means to be able to react, they're absorbing it, they're hearing it, they're feeling it, in their
Mhm.
gut and in their soul. um so yeah, that was extreme. Again, when you're a mom, you don't talk about how hard being a mom is.
Mm-mm.
It's just not done. It's a
Yeah.
big no-no in mommyhood.
Yeah.
But thankfully there are women out there that are more than willing to talk about how hard it is to be a mom, with how hard pregnancy can be, and postpartum depression, and you know even post pregnancy,
Mhm.
your body is never the same anymore, and your life is not the
Hmm.
same anymore. Your life isn't yours anymore. You're now living and breathing and existing for this little thing that cannot take care of itself and seemingly wants to like try to kill itself every single day. uh
Mhm.
so
Yeah. And this whole thing of you knew what you were signing up for. They need to People need to stop that.
yeah, because
It's a
nobody talks about it. They,
corporation.
they they don't know what they're
Yeah,
signing up for. They think they know what
they
they're
do.
signing
They're
up for
signing up.
based on the shiny Kodak images that are put out there.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
That's not what you're signing up for. That is like a
No.
small percentage of what the day to day
That's
is like.
perfect world scenario.
Yes. Yeah. It's like I'm very fortunate that I, you know, didn't have people like around me sugarcoating what parenting was like. I didn't really have any people like blatantly showing me what it was like either, but I was exposed like just enough that it's like, yeah, this isn't for me. Parenting humans, no thank you. Dogs. And I'm 43 years old and I still firmly believe I made the right decision. So no regret here. uh so you know just whatever good vibes or whatever, just send them to her daughter's way and her family. And
Hmm.
you know it's sad. So there's that. And then in the feeds, my episode of Next Stop Everywhere is now out.
Mhm.
You to listen to talk about Peter Capaldi's first episode as a doctor. Paternoster Gang. Ugh, so much fun. More dinosaurs. Doctor Who doing what Doctor Who does best. So if you're not subscribed, you should be, because Chris and Jesse do a fantastic job. Derby even thinks so. He's saying so from all the way downstairs. Uh, Either that or he's yelling at dad to give him dinner. One of the two. Considering he's a corgi, it's probably close. It's probably more dinner than Doctor Who. Anyway, so that's really it for news.
Deciding where to grow or move your business can be full of unexpected delays. Or you could go to Ohio. With billions invested in growth-ready sites, a dedicated team whose only job is to tackle red tape, and 0% corporate income tax, Ohio makes it easier for businesses to scale faster. In fact, Ohio is ranked the #1 state for business in America. Your move. Learn more at jobsohio.com.
Let's move on to feedback. We got some feedback from Shalane. Now, Shalane actually sent this feedback thinking we were going to do Spider-Man Brand New Day. So, I don't believe I have read this a couple times, but let me just double check that there aren't any spoilers in her feedback for Spider, which I don't think there is. There will be spoilers once we get to D23. We'll warn you. So if you're like, this seems weird, Shalene's feedback, like, because she was expecting us to be doing a different topic this episode. But that's okay. I already know she's got feedback about and opinions about the stuff that happened in D23 that she is going to send us, because I already asked her opinions. She says, starting off with the ranking of blockbuster directors I researched. I'm not saying it was my own ranking. I looked it up online. If girls don't believe me, go look it up. We believe you. I was just letting you know that Steven Spielberg is ranked #1. It's a list of highest grossing film directors. And yes, Steven Spielberg is #1 by about $350 million above James Cameron. Mostly because Jurassic Park is older, therefore has had more time to make more money, because his highest grossing film is Jurassic Park, and it's slightly over $1 billion. So, which actually Avatar has actually made more, but his overall total does not quite get him up to Steven Spielberg's level. So, just in case you're wondering, Christopher Nolan is #3. The Russo brothers are #4, thanks to Adventure Endgame. Peter Jackson, because that trilogy that he made 20 years ago. Michael Bay is #6. His highest grossing film was Transformers: Dark of the Moon. David Yates is at 7 with the part 2 of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Ridley Scott with The Martian. Tim Burton is #9. And J.J. Abrams is #10. There you go. Now, if you adjust it, I don't know if that's adjusted for inflation or not. That may make a difference, but we're going by that list, which is fine by me, because I'd take Steven Spielberg over James Cameron any day. Going back to Legally Blonde, you actually do have to go to law school to become a lawyer, and you have to take the LSAT during undergrad. Yes, you do. Also, if you go to medical school to become a doctor, you need a teaching license to become a teacher in a school. Yes, you do. And actually, medical school, you have to take the MCAT, which is kind of like the LSAT, but for medicine. So, and getting your teaching license, that can vary state to state and township to township. A lot of times it's dictated by the state. It's usually a state license. Much like a medical license, it's via the state. So whatever the parameters are for that particular state that you're going to work in. But yeah, there's a lot of professions require a lot of schooling beyond just your basic 4-year degree. So Elle did a lot of work. Fun fact about the original Broadway Elle Woods, Laura Bell Bundy. She played young Sarah in the original Jumanji movie, and she was also the original Amber Von Tussle in the Broadway production of Hairspray. Speaking of Marilyn Monroe, I finally watched Gentlemen Prefer Blondes in honor of Marilyn Monroe's 100th birthday this year. Guessing you girls haven't talked about any Marilyn Monroe or Elizabeth Taylor movies on Gold Standard yet. Actually, yes, we have done one Elizabeth Taylor film on Gold Standard. We talked about Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. That was quite a while ago, but we will have to get to some Maryland either on here or Gold Standard, especially I love Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. So that and Some Like It Hot. Oh, they're both so good. Uh, oh. The last two hand-drawn animated films Disney made that were part of the Disney Animation Studios and what I call the Disney Revival era or New Disney Renaissance were The Princess and the Frog and Winnie the Pooh. Back to Avengers Doomsday, since it's being released around Christmas, I believe you girls will probably talk about it in January. Also wonder if Rachel will be a guest on Happiness and Darkness to talk about Doomsday. Probably, maybe, possibly. Who knows? Yeah, you may have to wait for our feedback or reaction to Doomsday till after New Year's, because usually at that point we take the rest of the year off for the holidays. So it's like Doomsday is released and literally a week later is Christmas. So that is probably going to be something I see multiple times in the theaters over the holiday break to take it all in. So that's going to need to be rewatched at least a couple of times before we talk about it. Also, here are some of the canceled MCU movies and TV shows. I saw a post about them and sent it to you girls. Iron Man 4, Eternals 2, Black Knight, Avengers King Dynasty, Inhumans, Armor Wars, Blade, Captain America Society, and Wonder Man Season 2. Yeah, womp womp. So I guess it was just a rumor that they were going to do Eternals 2 after Secret Wars. We still won't know much about Thanos' brother. Honestly, I think Eternals would have worked better as a TV series. It's kind of like King Dynasty. They started setting up a storyline, then it got canceled. Yep. The reason King Dynasty got canceled was because of major issues involving the actor who played King, and some of the people working on the project ended up leaving as well. Yes. Just don't be a dick. Everyone, just Wheaton's Law across the board.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make things bad for yourself and a whole bunch of other people. More than likely. Especially if you're famous. Also, going back to Doomsday, it's Monica Rambeau, not Maria Rambeau, who got stuck in that alternate universe at the end of the Marvel. Sorry. I keep getting her and her mother mixed up. I should just call her Captain Rambeau. She got Captain Marvel and Captain Rambeau. Speaking of Jumanji, we got a trailer for the upcoming movie that's coming out around Christmas after Doomsday. It looks hilarious and fun again. I thought Jumanji The Next Level was going to be the final movie, but they left it on a cliffhanger. From what I've heard, this new one is supposed to be the final chapter. I mean, you've got the characters coming into the real world, at least temporarily, and then going back into the game, but with different people now going into the bodies of the avatars. So, which I think is hilarious because of that forces our actors like Karen, like The Rock, like Jack Black, to now take these characters that they have played 3 times already and play them completely different because now they're inhabited by completely different persona. So I think it's actually quite a genius in a way. So I'm still being patient while waiting for you girls to talk about Robin Williams Jumanji. I know you covered it on Gold Standard, but I'd love to hear discussion of not just the original movie, but the whole franchise, including the book and Zathura, aka Space Jumanji. That means I would have to consume Zathura, which I've not done. Fun fact, I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The children's book Zathura is actually a sequel to the Jumanji book. That means Zathura is basically a sequel to Jumanji. So in my mind, the order goes Jumanji, Zathura, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, Jumanji, The Next Level, Jumanji, One World. I know this because I do a lot of research and listen to different podcasts. Since Rachel is coming to Vegas for the Metallica concert at the Sphere, I thought I'd mention that the Sphere is going to have the Rocky Horror Picture Show next year. Still waiting for the Spice Girls to get a Sphere show. Me too. I'm so excited. I'm excited to go back to Vegas. I love Vegas. I know it's not for everybody. Some people think it's too flashy and too loud, but I love Vegas. But it's dopamine central, which for my dopamine deprived ADD brain, it's like woo. So plus it's just fun, like all the different hotels and different architecture and stuff, and oh my god, the food. But yeah, I saw the announcement about the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's gonna be. I'm really interested to see how they adapt that for the Sphere. It's like I know what they did for the Wizard of Oz, and it's like when you go see the Rocky Horror Picture Show, it's already kind of 4D with
Mm-hmm.
some of the stuff that happens. For any Rocky Horror versions out there, I don't want to spoil everything. But there are, there's interactive elements that make it more immersive. And it's not just yelling stuff at the screen. There's stuff involving props and various
Yeah.
things. So how they're gonna like scale that up at the Sphere, I'm really interested to see, and I kind of need to go and experience it myself. So, they just convinced Chauncey we need to go. He's still a Rocky Horror virgin, so this would be one way to 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 end that. Oh, but yes, I'm still waiting for that. I'm just a general waiting for that Spice Girls reunion. Really, at this point, it could be without Victoria, and I would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
The Backstreet Boys were able to live a little while without Kevin, although Kevin did eventually come back, but he's not Victoria Beckham. So not quite apples to apples, but I'm just saying the Spice Girls, 4 out of 5 ain't bad. I'm just saying. I would take 4. I would take 4 out of 5. Make it happen. High School Me is still waiting. I didn't get to see them at their heyday, during their heyday. It's like that's one of those things. It's like looking back when I was younger, I'm like, oh, I haven't. It's like I haven't checked that off my list. So, and the last thing, Ryan Gosling is going to be both in both Star Wars and the MCU. That's pretty cool. Yeah, he's the next Ming Na Wen. All he's going to need after this is become a Disney princess. And he's already blonde, so we're partway there. Uh, and we know he can sing and dance if you've seen La La Land. So he's like 80% of the way there to Disney princessdom. So maybe we need to start crowning Disney princes, not just princesses.
Ooh.
They can hire him for something. So there's that. That's Shalane's feedback. Thank you, Shalane. As always. So moving on to Disney Fandom Christmas. So yes, D23, the ultimate Disney fan event, took place this weekend in Anaheim at the convention center down the street from Disneyland. And a good time was had by all. Lou and Becky were there live streaming from the WDW radio booth the entire weekend. They ended up giving away a Walt Disney World vacation to a
Ooh.
lucky fan. Turns out that the gal who won was supposed to honeymoon with her then new husband 20 years ago, and life happened, so they had to cancel and never got to go.
Oh
So
wow.
now they finally get to have that Disney honeymoon.
Aww.
Like 20 years later. So thought that was pretty awesome. So of course, lots of fun stuff to be had and to see and to buy and to eat. I believe at least some of the merchandise is now available on Shop Disney. Again, as we stated in the previous episode, not everything is going to be available. They call stuff exclusive for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're feeling the FOMO, at least as far as, getting your hands on some of this pretty awesome looking merchandising, um, go online. Go to the official Disney store and see what's available. Of course, sizes and colorways availability is going to depend on demand. So, yeah, your mileage may vary depending on what it is you're looking for, but at least you have the option unless you want to go aftermarket. In that case, you might be paying a premium.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yep, there is that. But of course, there's some highlights that occur at D23 pretty much every time this event occurs, including the legend ceremony. So our newest class of Disney legends have been praised, and their prints, as it were, their paw prints, and signature are now encased in cement and will be installed somewhere. I think they go to the studio, but I'm not entirely sure. I believe that's where the legends handprints and signature, because they sign their name in concrete as well, which Alan Tudyk was like, I've always wanted to work in concrete. So I believe those go over at the studio, the active working studio. Yeah. But don't quote me on that. So, but that was quite the to do with different people celebrating these now Disney legends. And they also had the Disney princesses in concert as well, which that included a good number of the at least the singing voices for a number of our recognizable Disney princesses, um, including most of the princess from the Renaissance forward. So, and Brandy, they even included Brandy because she is a version of Cinderella in the larger Disney universe. So thanks not only to the Rodgers and Hammerstein musical that Disney produced several years ago, but they have brought her Cinderella and her prince and her parents or in-laws back in the Descendants universe. So that's pretty cool. But of course, us Disney fans, the real meat and potatoes, as it were, is the announcements. What's coming as far as movies, TV, streaming, all the entertainments with all the IPs that Disney owns now. Plus, what's happening in all the parks and hotels and the cruise line as well. So we've got a lot of ground to cover. So first off, of course, as we go through this, especially with the films and stuff, there are dates. Write everything in pencil.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Except for maybe Avengers Doomsday. That's probably pretty safe. You could write it in darker pencil.
Yeah.
Or erasable pen.
Yeah.
On a whiteboard, maybe. with a dry erase marker. If you're wanting to get colorful. But yeah. So starting with the entertainment showcase. which had a lot. So with Josh DeMario, Chief Executive Officer of the Walt Disney Company, kicking everything off. And we've got a lot of various platforms and licenses that Disney owns and operates, including Disney, Pixar, Walt Disney Animation, Marvel, Star Wars, National Geographic, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN, Disney Experiences, and more. So, first off, The Simpsons are getting a crack at another movie.
Oh.
So, yes, new The Simpsons movie, or is it the new Simpsons movie? It's kind of hard to tell with the way that this logo is arranged, but we're gonna, because they're considering new is at the very top, we're gonna go new The Simpsons movie. Of course, The Simpsons have had a theatrical release. It was quite a while ago now. So this is their next crack at putting The Simpsons on the big screen. We don't know really a whole lot about plot and everything yet, other than right now. It is slated to release Labor Day weekend 2027. So there's that. They've also announced that the live action Lilo and Stitch movie is getting a sequel. They're going to start production in Hawaii here in next year, and it's slated to release May 26, 2028, and they are bringing Angel into
I was gonna say, are they
the
gonna
mix. Yes. Oh, which, it did. I mean, it did make $1 billion. So we can't say that it flopped. In general, people seem to enjoy it. I mean, it had to have made $1 billion.
right?
And if anyone was, unfortunately, if the idea of any sequels to the animated were even being teased, they may or may not want to put that on the back burner now that we've lost the voice of animated Lilo.
Yep.
So, but that's purely speculation on my part. But yeah, it is.
Oh, when was the last time you did a animated movie for Lilo
Mhm.
and Stitch?
But the sequel is being co-written and directed by Chris Sanders, who did the animated movie. So he also was the voice of Stitch in both the animated and live action. So, and cue all of us adults going to the movies all at the same time, and there being like way more, the ratio of adults to kids in the theater, depending on what time of day you go, might favor more heavily on the adults than the kids, because Bluey is getting a movie.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm curious how they're gonna make those into a movie. 'Cause, like, the short episode, so I'm curious about what they're gonna do for a full length story.
Yeah, I was like, are they gonna just do like the bare minimum of what is considered a feature length movie nowadays? It's like, it's like kids and adults. We could sit and have Bluey just playing back to back to back to back to back, but each episode is. We talked about Bluey. We've done an episode on Bluey. We're 4 grown-ass women. We did an episode on Bluey. I have a Bluey rugby jersey. I like Bluey.
You see, there's like 4 of us women. Only one of us is a mom.
Yeah.
Only one of us has kids.
Yeah, well, human kids. So,
Well, yeah.
I do have dogs, so I'm kind of closer to actually having my own. So one's a boy.
I
It's not two
try
girls,
to
but
get our
still.
dogs to watch Bluey because apparently that's the thing, but our dogs are not interested in Bluey.
Yeah,
I
I
was
haven't
like,
tried that
oh,
with mine yet. I should. Um, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see, how they make essentially a Bluey episode feature length and to keep people's attention.
right.
I mean, it's CG as opposed to the animation that the series is
Mm-hmm.
done, so it is going to look a little different, which may or may not be novel enough to grab some people's attentions for longer. I don't know. The teaser is you know Bluey and her sister playing a game of keepy uppy with a big red balloon. So somebody's gonna take that and swap out the audio, and it's gonna be 99 loof balloons instead. Red balloons. So yeah, that is set to arrive August 6th of next year. So we shall see. Of course, all of the voice cast from the animated series is going to be voicing their film counterparts. Oh, we got our first look at the live action Tangled. With just a little look at our live action Rapunzel and our live action Flynn Rider. And also our live action Mother Gothel. And it's like, you can just tell. Like, I knew Catherine was going to eat this role, is going to eat this role, but like she just appears, she's like, oh, Rapunzel, and she just comes out through the doorway and she's looking straight into the camera like she's looking at us. And you can just kind of see in her face that Catherine Hahn is like, I am going to kill this role so much that y'all are gonna be eating out of my hands. And I'm like, yes, I'm here for it. So,
She's like one of the reasons why I'm really excited. 'Cause, like, I'm usually a little lukewarm with the live action,
yeah.
but like when I heard that she was cast, because I think I remember when they were talking about it, I thought in my head, oh, she'd be perfect.
It was a dream casting there for a
Yeah,
while,
yeah,
and then it
first,
actually
and then
happened.
it
Yeah,
manifested itself.
Yeah. Every now and then Disney does listen to us.
Yeah.
yes.
Had they made any announcement about who's going to play Rapunzel or Flynn yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Tegan Croft, which I think maybe she's a bit of a newcomer,
Okay.
is playing Rapunzel, and then Milo Manheim is actually playing Flynn Rider.
Okay.
So
I couldn't remember if they had been announced, so I was just double checking.
Yeah, and they've also announced Rapunzel's parents, and Diego Luna is actually going to be in it, but his character is yet to be named. It's a new character. So,
Ooh, I'm curious.
Again, you don't turn down a paycheck from the House's mouth.
Right?
I mean, he may make the depending on who his character ends up being, he may hit that Disney trifecta before Ryan Gosling does. He'll be appearing in a Disney princess movie. He's already been at Star Wars in the MCU, so
Yep.
just saying, Gosling better step it up. So that is due out end of March 2028. Then Jon Favreau joined in on the fun to talk about Oswald, a live action animated hybrid series based on Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, which is the character that Walt created and lost the rights to before Mickey. Mickey was created because Oswald was taken from Walt legally. I mean, it's not like legally they had the rights. It was just a bad deal on Walt's, side of things. So he needed a new character, and Mickey Mouse was born. So, but they have been Favreau and some others have been spotted in and around, Disney California Adventure, filming some stuff. I think earlier this year, late last year, something like that. Which may or may not. When you first go into DCA, the California Adventure, their equivalent of Main Street USA is like a 1920s type of boulevard. So that might fit in with some of the at least when Oswald was originally created, he would fit in there with that vibe. But the idea is, when an earthquake releases Walt Disney's creation Oswald, who's been hidden away since the 1920s, a middle school boy and his friends try to help the cartoon rabbit navigate his way through the modern world.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, I love the idea that they're kind of doing a Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where it's going to be a combination of animation and live action. So
when you said that, like, man, this is reminding me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I'm assuming a lot more.
That,
I guess.
Favreau's directing it. He's writing it. And executive producing it, and it will premiere on Disney Plus day before my birthday, February 17th, 2027. Happy birthday to me.
I'm not gonna have it like black and white at first, because it's like how he is.
Probably. Then bring him into when he comes to the modern world, everything's all colorful, all the Wizard of Oz. Could be.
Oh, and he's still black and white, because like I play a Disney game and Oswald's in it, and like everything's colorful, but he's not. Like he stays black and white.
Yeah. We'll see. All right. Moving over to Pixar. Quite a bit there. Of course, Pixar's been having pretty good go of it lately with Hoppers, as well as Toy Story 5. So fans attending got their first look at Incredibles 3, including a interruption by a certain Edna.
I loved that. It was like, just as they were about to get ready to, I think, announce who the baddie was supposed to be, she shows up.
Yes.
Perfect timing. No capes.
Yes, I love Edna. I love the Incredibles. And so there's that is due to release June 16th, 2028. They've also announced that Coco is getting a sequel. Okay. Now Miguel is a teenager. And they will be going back to the land of the dead and seeing some familiar faces, and I'm sure some new ones as well. And that is due out November 2029 at the moment. Which
it's weird, like that's still a bit of a wait, but also like 2029 is like in the near future, which is scary to me.
Like 3 years away. Yeah, only 3 years away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, you can get a jump starting familiarizing yourself with, I guess, teenage Miguel if you play Kingdom Hearts, because Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to feature a world inspired by Coco, and that's due out late next year.
Give me time to actually finish, because I played the games, but I've never finished the entire series. So I need to focus on that, I guess.
And then Pixar is once again releasing a new original titled Ghost Market. It takes place at the Ono Market, a little platelet shop hidden away in a remote location on Oahu's North Shore that serves lost spirits stuck between life and death. The living have never set foot in this place until a fast-talking kid named Kyle, of course his name is Kyle, blunders in and finds himself on an unexpected supernatural adventure.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. So set in Hawaii. That's exciting. And that is due out in March 2028. And then I'm sure Nick is going to get a kick out of this because scheduled to release March 5th of next year is Gato, a anime, obviously it's Pixar, so it's animated adventure about a scrappy black cat named Nero, voiced by Mark Ruffalo, who begins to question whether he lived the right lives after years of maneuvering the canal-ridden, superstitious city of Venice, Italy. Indebted to Rocco, voiced by Lawrence Fishburne. The ruthless local feline mob boss, Nero finds himself in a quandary and is forced to forge a truly unexpected friendship that may finally lead him to his purpose, unless Venice gets the better of him first. Like, that sounds amazing.
It does.
And the concept art or whatever that they showed of Nero and Rocco is hilarious. Oh. And then over at 20th Century Studios, we got a little tales from a certain Romy and Michelle. Mira Sorvino and Lisa Kudrow apparently entered the stage in a shower of yellow post-it notes. If you don't understand why that's funny, that tells me you've never seen Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. But yeah, we've mentioned this, I think, already. Yeah, we're getting Romy and Michelle 2. Most of the obviously Mira, Lisa are coming back. Alan Cumming is coming back, which is awesome. So Janine Garofalo, which is awesome as well. Along with Cameron Manheim, Brecken Meyer, and Keegan Michael Key, which, you know, anytime you throw Keegan Michael Key into something, it's going to be hilarious. But that is due out next year, and it's going to stream exclusively on Hulu, which is pretty awesome. And then we have Marvel, of course, with our look at Vision Quest, which is due out in October.
Good.
So the premise: Vision, rebooted and having escaped from those who sought to weaponize him, has been in hiding. Searching for new meaning, he consults the AI personas embedded in his programming, including Friday, Edith, Jarvis, and the infamous Ultron. His discreet extendance ends when a bounty placed on his head thrusts him on the run with Thomas Shepard, a mysterious boy who may be Vision's son reincarnate. As Vision escapes Fade's capture, he must confront his nature, resist Ultron's influence, and unravel the enigma that is his young companion if he is to survive. And yes, because we're getting Friday, Edith, Jarvis, and Ultron, we're getting not only the voices, but the physical embodiments of said AI voices as well. And that includes James Spader.
Yes. As soon as I thought, I'm like, yes, because
we got James D'Arcy back as Jarvis.
Yep.
But which is hilarious considering he is real life Jarvis. Howard Stark's right hand man. Which Paul Bettany was the voice of the AI Jarvis, but since we've got Vision, we're just gonna have, we're just gonna have James D'Arcy come back and just be Jarvis.
Because I miss him.
Yeah. Yeah, but I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Vision is running around in his kind of human form, obviously, because they'll kind of freak out some people. But he still has the whole of the all white body, and he goes home and kind of goes into like his mind palace where all the different AIs live in his head, but then Ultron takes on a human looking body, and it's James Spader. It's like, oh,
I know that voice.
yeah,
I know that.
like I was
body
like,
shape.
oh, Ultron. I was like, oh, cool. We're gonna have Ultron. It's not actually Ultron, but it's the AI that came from Jarvis, because it's kind of his baby in a way, or a weird twin. And I was like, oh, Ultron, cool, James Spader, he's come back to the voice. No, live action, actually physically present James Spader. And I'm like, I did not see that coming.
No.
By any means. It's not something I expected.
Now we just need to get Spader and Robert Downey Jr. in a room together in a Marvel scene, and the Rat Pack reunion will be complete. That's my wish.
Yeah, well, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We haven't quite figured out how to get Rob Lowe into the MCU yet, but we're working on it.
Yeah. But you know what I'm getting at. It's like,
yes. It's true. That is true. So, but yeah, that was like, okay, I did not see that coming, but I'm here for it. So I am here for it. So, okay. Question, because I've not seen anything that has told me one way or the other. Is this going to be a series like WandaVision and Agatha all along? Like multiple episodes?
Yes, that's because it said it was supposed to complete the trilogy, if I remember from seeing one of the trailers. So I'm thinking it's going to be miniseries. I don't think they release how many episodes, unless they decide to go feature length series movie and pop it up like they did with the one black and white Halloween movie.
Or Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night, yeah.
Or The Punisher that we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything definitively one way or the other. Right? If this is a feature length, it drops and that's it, or if it's a miniseries, which in that case we'll be waiting as episodes drop, because they don't drop all at once. At least they haven't with the first two parts of the trilogy, so I mean, either way, I'm here for it. I think they were smart. It would be episodes, and we'd have so many episodes, and that would help bridge the gap until Doomsday. Because at that point, we still got 2 months to go. Speaking of which, we got a new trailer-ish for Doomsday that fills in some things. Like the fact that our Fantastic Four knew Victor Von Doom before he went whoo-hoo. So that pretty much defines him showing up in their home at the end of Fantastic Four First Steps isn't necessarily that unusual then, because they know him. Although it seems like maybe they've not necessarily kept close in touch.
Right.
Since he went off the deep end, which, he lost his family. Very stereotypical plot device to send a person either to the dark side or the side of the hero. In this case, Victor Von Doom loses his family. Full on evil, woohoo, crazy person. But yeah, that was like, that fills in some holes right there. And answers a few questions from Fantastic Four. Just with that. So I'm like, oh, thank you for that. So little bit of footage we haven't seen before. A lot of it's kind of the same that we've seen before. So but hey, I'm still here for it. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. And to round off the Marvel Marvel part of the presentation, spoilers for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Kevin Feige, leader, was joined on stage by at least the currently hired I guess Earth 616 X-Men. So including Sadie Sink, who is Jean Grey, as we learned in Spider-Man Brand New Day. She is this universe's Jean Grey. Along with Kit Connor, who is going to be Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. We're going to have Christopher Abbott as Professor Charles Xavier. Samara Weaving as Emma Frost. That's cool. Indy Navarrete as Rogue. Maya Boyd as Storm. And then he wasn't there in person, but he just sent in a video recorded. Adam Driver is joining the MCU. And he is going to be playing the video he sent. He was teasing that he's playing Magneto. He's not playing Magneto. He is playing Nathaniel Milbury, which, if the name doesn't necessarily strike you as who is that, as far as Marvel is concerned, in the comics, he is known as Nathaniel Essex, aka Mr. Sinister.
Oh.
In the comics, which he appeared fully in 1987's Uncanny X-Men number 221, he appears as a very pale, almost gray-skinned, with red eyes geneticist. He's got a red diamond in his forehead, and he is known for his cloning, eugenics, and obsession with the genetic bloodlines of Cyclops and Jean Grey. That's who Nathaniel is in the comics. So, what they'll decide to do, that as far as the MCU is concerned, we shall see, because that movie is yet to give it an actual title. It's just Untitled X-Men film at the moment. It is due to be released May 5th, 2028. There we go. As we were joking in the chat, at this rate, with them, bringing people into the MCU, both new and known faces, and like everybody is going to be in the MCU except for Martin Scorsese. So that's what he gets for bad mouthing superhero movies. Not that I have any say in the matter, but yeah. And then quickly over to Lucasfilm. We got a teaser and a premiere date for Ahsoka season 2. Finally, I've been waiting for Ahsoka to come back for forever, it seems like. So Ahsoka is coming back to us on Disney Plus January 20th, 2027. So when we're stuck inside when it's freezing outside, we'll have Ahsoka and her friends fighting against Grand Admiral Thrawn. And then this is what Shalane was talking about at the end of her feedback. Sean Levy announced Star Wars Starfighter, which is going to be in theaters May 28th of 2027. So less than a year from now. So odds are this is actually going to happen comparatively to some other Star Wars things that they announced and never happened. But it's going to star Ryan Gosling, who decided he needed to show up in his OG jacket from when he was on the Mickey Mouse Club, which is a little snug. I mean, it still kind of fits, actually, but I'm sure it's a little snug. He's a little taller and probably the shoulders have probably got a little broader since, his days in the club with all the other famous folks he was in it with. So Levy gave him a better fitting jacket with a very interesting symbol on the back that part of it looks, depending on how you look at it, it either looks like a skull and crossbones or it looks like the Rebel logo with the crossbones underneath it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, little blurb that they gave us: when a cynical rogue is confronted by his mysterious past, he is hurled into a dangerous adventure across the galaxy that puts him on a crash course with destiny. What's interesting is some of the other people that are going to be in this movie, including Amy Adams and Matt Smith.
Yeah. Matt Smith, huh?
Which, considering they didn't put any sort of thing in parentheses after, this is a thing you may know this person from. It just says Matt Smith. We're going to assume that it's Doctor Who Matt Smith. That Matt Smith. Considering I don't know how many other famous Matt Smiths there are, considering they put his name first in the list. So, but due out summer of next year. So we'll see. Awesome. And then Walt Disney Animation Studios, and they announced that they are in early development of Zootopia 3, which that's exciting. So I love the world of Zootopia. It's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we all knew it was coming, but now we've got actual footage and an appearance by several of the voice casts. But Frozen 3 due out Thanksgiving next year. Which, based on the clip that they showed, which you can see, it's out there, unofficially at least. All the people that were filming at the time and put on social media. It looks like we might be coming full circle, as our antagonist for this might be the Ice Queen, who Elsa originally was supposed to be when they
that's what I was
the
wondering.
idea for Frozen. She was supposed to be full on villain Ice Queen. They decided to change that, made it a sister relationship, and since then, and now it appears that we might actually be getting the actual Ice Queen. And Kristoff and Anna's wedding that gets interrupted. But they're fine with it. They're used to it this time. Even in the clip, Anna's like, "Did you saying our wedding got interrupted by a new villain?" So, And apparently Olaf is looking for love.
One of it's going to be a snow woman called Samantha.
I
don't know.
He already, yeah. Could be. I mean, he did kind of fall in love with Gale in Frozen 2, which was just wind. So, yeah, it is Olaf. He's a bit of softy, literally and figuratively. So, Disney Theatrical Group has announced that The Greatest Showman, the stage adaptation, is going to be opening in London's West End next spring. Ooh. So, it did a run at the Bristol Hippodrome and was a sellout. The run was a sellout, so they're moving it to the West End. So, hopefully, if it does well at the West End, then it's only a matter of time before it comes to the US. Laura is that. So let's move on to the parks, which a lot of these presentations, like the Princess concert, the Legend ceremony, a lot of these things, I can find them on Disney Plus to watch in full. Holly has not been able to find them.
I was able to those. I was able to find. I misinterpreted the messenger chat. I was thinking that some of the other, like the presentation, the panel where they talked with Doomsday a bit, and that I thought those were also on Disney Plus, but no, that's what I was looking for. The other stuff I was able to see and I did catch.
Okay, good.
So there was a little crossing of wires communication.
Gotcha.
For understanding of what was there for the D23 offerings.
Yeah, because like at least in the experiences showcase, like they fully acknowledge that it's getting watched on Disney Plus. But unlike in previous years where when they do announcements, like they'd have celebrity, like what, if they were doing a sequel to a movie or something, maybe one of the stars would show up, maybe in character. But it was still, they tried to give it some flash, so it wasn't just, here's some corporate head to talk about how we're spending money on something, which may or may not, have a good ROI in the future. At least this particular, the Disney experience, they call it the Disney Experiences Showcase because, like I said, that covers parks, resorts, cruise line, all the things. They made it so it was almost like they were making it show it was like a late night talk show, but it was also like part variety show as well, kind of Johnny Carson-esque, hosted by Neil Patrick Harris. So there were song and dance numbers, there were costume changes, there were a lot of references to stuff that you would only get if you're a park goer. So they definitely understood their audience. Because as the Disney community, the people that go to the parks make a big chunk of the money that the company makes. Obviously, movies is where the Disney company as a whole started, but when Walt got the idea for Disneyland, that just dialed everything up to 211, and been going ever since, with now multiple parks spanning the globe, among other Disney experiences. So I like how they did this. I like the song and dance and all the jokes and everything. So I can't complain too much. So but let's start in Disneyland Paris, where of course they have been building and improving on a number of things, including the addition of Frozen, an entire land dedicated to Frozen, which is now open at Disney Adventure World, which used to be the Disney something studios, that for the longest time people that had been to the parks in Paris were like, oh yeah, the studio side, half day park, yeah, Disneyland Paris, that's where it's at. So they've trying to fix that. So we now have the World of Frozen at Disney Adventure World. That includes not just attractions but dining, all the fun stuff. But over in Paris, they're getting a Lion King ride.
Ooh.
The first ever in the entire world.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
they've done shows, but they've never done an attraction dedicated to the Lion King. Which is going to include a land for it, and is going to include a okay, I'm probably oversimplifying this for the sake of description, but based on the concept art and the description, this is essentially Splash Mountain, but with the Lion King story.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of Briar Rabbit getting thrown into the briar patch and you go down the big hill and splash at the bottom, this, you have Simba's final confrontation with Scar, and then you go over to, and obviously Scar loses, and Pride Rock lives happily ever after. So, yeah. And the other big piece of news out of Disneyland Paris is they are taking their version of Space Mountain and dialing it back to the original version. So instead of it being Hyperspace Mountain, it's going to be Space Mountain de la Terre à la Lune. So inspired by the Jules Verne story, A Trip to the Moon. So it's going to have the original score and make it look more like it did when it originally opened. So which I remember seeing images of it like when it first opened. It's very cool because it is very Jules Verne inspired, the Trip to the Moon. So it's very steampunk as opposed to the ones here in the US, which are very like it looks like you could plug it at NASA in Houston or in Florida or something, right next to all the rocket ships. Yeah. And it would kind of fit right in as far as the vibe. So, but the one in Paris, it's very cool looking, at least from the outside. So I'm kind of glad that they're dialing it back to the OG version, because obviously I've never gotten to see it, and I kind of prefer to see the OG version. So there is that for Paris. Now moving over to Tokyo Disneyland. They're getting a brand new Space Mountain in Space Mountain Earthrise. So yeah, because their Tomorrowland is getting retooled, reimagined. So it's designed to celebrate the beauty of our planet while inspiring guests to look forward to the future. So that is in Tokyo. In Shanghai. It's Shanghai Disneyland. They are getting an entire land dedicated to Spider-Man.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's gonna have a new coaster. And it's actually to keep the story connected to Avengers Campus in California. It is going to be a Shanghai branch of the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, which is kind of part of the Stark internship storyline that they've got going in California, with all of these not just Peter, but these other super smart teenagers, young adults, including the Easter egg in the queue for the Spider-Man ride at California Adventure. There's an Easter egg for a certain squirrel girl. So just saying. So that's exciting. First Disney park to have a land dedicated to Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty awesome. Meanwhile, Sony is going, yes, licensing.
Mm-hmm.
At Hong Kong Disneyland, they already have the Stark Expo, so they are getting a brand new Avengers Pavilion, and it is going to be a branch of the Avengers Research Testing Labs. It's going to include a Quinjet landing platform and all sorts of marvelous, exciting things. So, that being said, here in America, and I believe I mentioned this after our trip to Disneyland last year, because we knew this was coming, because they're already working on it. But the expansion to Avengers Campus is well underway, including 2 new attractions, and so there's going to be the Avengers Infinity Defense and Stark Flight Lab. And the expansion is going to geographically have walkways that it now connects directly to Cars Land, in both on more than one spot, because right now if you're in Cars Land there's a dead end, and the only way to get to Avengers Campus is to backtrack almost the entire way you went to go around to get. So they're eliminating the dead end, so now you can get from Cars Land to Avengers Campus much easier now. So Avengers Infinity Defense, you will be welcomed to Avengers Infinity Defense's new recruits, where your journey begins with a pre-mission briefing from Miss Marvel herself, Iman Vellani. Then you will get your key mission: reassemble the Avengers to battle King Thanos, preventing the Mad King from wreaking havoc everywhere. And they did show some behind the scenes of them filming stuff on green screen, because we are getting a number of the Avengers back in some cases, including Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, Anthony Mackie as our Sam Wilson Captain America, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, and RDJ as Iron Man. I think I explained this in my Disneyland recap, I don't remember. But yeah. I know I explained this to Chauncey when we first got there, how the idea works as far as like how it fits into canon is the idea that there is a rift. So time and space are not flowing like, in order, so stuff is kind of in and out of place chronologically and the like, which is why it's King Thanos, because in a different universe he becomes King Thanos and Iron Man is still alive. Because you're like, wait a minute, RDJ's coming back as Doom. How's he being an Iron Man in a Disney attraction? Rift in time and space. That's all you need to know. That's how the Avengers campus works. So once on board, you will be surrounded by massive physical sets blending seamlessly with huge media screens, putting you in the middle of the action as you feel like you're hurtling across many worlds. I mean, based on the concept art and what they've said, you'll travel to locations like Asgard, Wakanda, New York City. Based on the concept art, I imagine that this is going to have a similar, I don't know if they're using the same ride technology, but based on the description and the behind the scenes stuff they show, which the entire time I was watching just all the Marvel stuff, I'm like, yeah, like Uncle Scrooge ready to jump in his money pit. Yes, my precious, turn into Smeagol. Yeah, it's probably not a perfect comparison again, but I'm guessing if you have been on what is it? Forbidden Journey, the attraction at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter that's inside Hogwarts. I'd imagine it's going to be similar to that, where it's a combination of you have your ride vehicle, which is on a giant arm, kind of like what they use to like build cars and stuff, so it can can go this way and that way and upside down and turn and twist different directions. And your ride vehicle is attached to that, and therefore it can spin you around and upside down and sideways and up, left and right and forwards and backwards, like all degrees of movement. And you go between screens, which have like the actors, and then actual like set pieces with like animatronics and sets and props and stuff, and they kind of seamlessly blend together. I imagine that's what this is going to be like, would be my guess. Again, pure speculation, but just based on my experience and knowing what kind of technology is out there as far as as far as attractions and stuff. Because that's a popular system. That arm, it's got a name, and I think it starts with a K, but I can't think of it. But it's really cool. And just seeing some of like the set pieces, there's Thor's hammer that looks like it's the size of like, a school bus or something. It looks really cool. I'd imagine that at some point that, if you're encountering things that big, that Ant-Man's probably involved at some point. It would be my guess. So I don't know if they've necessarily said everybody that's going to appear in here. I'm sure there's some surprises, but that's so cool. And then you have Stark Flight Lab. And you'll sit in a 2-person gyrokinetic pod and will roll along a track before stopping in front of a giant robot arm. Essentially feeling what it's like to train like a flying Avenger, making several high-speed maneuvers inspired by Iron Man and more. You'll be deployed to a test station, whirling around in a simulated flight that will have you eager to take a spin again and again. And once again, we have RDJ as Iron Man, Anthony Mackie as Captain America, and Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. That's exciting. So excited.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so excited. So I told Chauncey, I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna be another 10 years before we go back to Disneyland. It's only gonna be a couple because that's due to open in 2028.
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
Not much
please.
longer.
Yeah. Not much longer.
Considering we're getting close to being at the end of 2026, scary as that is.
Mhm. Before we go to Florida, let's pop over to the cruise line real quick, where the newest ship in the fleet is set to sail late in 2027. It is going to be the Disney Believe, and we'll have all the things you expect from a Disney cruise ship. Broadway style stage shows, some of the best food you will ever have in your entire life. Uh every cruise ship has some very obviously, there's different sizes of them, so there's different classes of ships. But each ship has its own distinct hallmarks, I guess, kind of like you would with a car. So every cruise ship on the bow and stern is a different Disney character, usually something related to like the vibe or theme of that ship. In this case, it is going to be Tinkerbell, and Buzz and Woody on the back. And I call it the atrium. Because it's when you first get on the ship, it's where you walk onto the ship, and it's like the big open lobby, and you're surrounded by the elevators and big fancy stuff, and you're all just like, it's so big and beautiful and everything, and they announce your family's name when you walk on the ship, and everybody claps because they're so excited you're here and everything. But in every ship in the Grand Hall, is what they call it, it's a statue of a Disney character, again related to the theme of that ship. For the Disney Destiny, which is very more superhero vibes, it's Black Panther. So for the Disney Believe, it is going to be Moana.
Ooh.
And not just Moana, it's going to have Pua and Hey Hey as well. Uh, so, so there's going to be you'll see a lot of touches that are Polynesian, South Pacific, um, all over the ship, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Buzz and Woody are going to be on the back, looking like they are writing the name of the ship in crayon, in yellow crayon. So the font for the ship's name is kind of like the Toy Story font. And then Tinkerbell will be on the bow in a hand painted, very very Tinkerbell, classic Tinkerbell, 53 Peter Pan Tinkerbell image of her, very spunky. So this ship celebrates the belief in magic, family, the power of nature, and belief in yourself. So that's exciting. So they gave just a little hint, little tease, that the cruise line is going to continue expanding. there is a new class of Disney ships that will debut in 2029. The plan is by 2030 to have 13 ships in the fleet. I remember when there were 4. Yeah. You had the Magic and the Fantasy, which were the OG ships and the smallest. Then you had the Dream and the Wonder, which were the next biggest. And now we've got the Wish, the Treasure, and the Destiny, and the Adventure, which is the one that is currently overseas in the Asian area, and soon the Believe. What are the names of the other ones? We don't know yet. But Disney Cruise Line has teased a more more comprehensive look at the new class of ship online. Right now it's just a little teaser right now with audio from Walt. And but they're gonna do I don't know, like a live stream or something. I'm not entirely sure. So you have to wait and see. So but yeah, you've got the like I said, the Magic and the Wonder, the ships the OG ships. They're more intimate because they're smaller. The Dream and the Fantasy made them a little bigger, more immersive spaces. Then you have the Wish, the Treasure, the Destiny, and the Believe. So those are the close to biggest, I guess, and then the Adventure, which is the recently launched, and it sails from Singapore. So that's the one that Robert Downey Jr. is the godmother, in this case, godfather, because every ship also has a celebrity godparent.
Oh, cool.
Yes. So, and Robert Downey Jr. is the godfather or fairy godmother. He may not, argue of, of that ship, because it also has Marvel stuff. So that's really cool. And just what we need, more ships for me not to sail on yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was doing so well there for a while, and then the fleet went from 4 to like 8 seemingly overnight, and I'm like, I can't keep up, and now they're going to be at 13 by the end of this decade, and I'm like, I only got so much time, Yeah. That being said, I may or may not already be planning our next cruise for a couple of years down the road, and it will be a ship we've not been on yet. So, the Dream was my first ship. That was the first one I ever cruised on. So, all right, moving to Florida, which seems to be I was saying this earlier to someone that when Walt announced Walt Disney World in Florida, one of the things that he constantly would mention is the amount of space that they would have. Or as he called it, the blessing of size. Because Disneyland was great for the city of Anaheim as far as bringing in tourists and stuff. But that also meant that the city of Anaheim had to grow and adapt to the increase in tourism, which meant the city literally grew up around Disneyland and therefore boxed it in, essentially. So they were fortunate that they were able to put DCA in. Since then, if they've wanted to expand in any way, it's meant taking away parking, a lot of parking, which for guests, at Disneyland, you can park there if you want, or you could park down the street. It'd probably be cheaper. And you'd also probably also get out faster, maybe. I would know. We've always stayed at a hotel within walking distance, so it's not matter to us, so we can just walk back and forth. But I know what the end of the day traffic is like. It can be a bit of a mess. So if you don't mind walking a little, to get so you're out of the way of the traffic trying to get out of the actual official Disney parking, I would do that if I were you. But it's also taking away some cast member parking too. So now the cast members have to park further away when they come into work and take a shuttle to get to work. So they got to plan accordingly if they want to get to work on time. So yeah. And it's a tough thing, but yeah, at the same time, innovation and evolution is part of Disney's DNA. Um, so, but unlike in California and Florida, they got buttloads of land. Now, yes, there is a significant portion of it that will never be developed. They purposely set, I forget how many acres it is. It's a good chunk of land that they've set aside that will never be developed so that they can maintain the ecosystem. Because yes, it was orange groves and swampland, but there's wildlife there. There are trees and plants and wildlife that need a habitat, so that for the environmental side of things, for all the development that they've done there in Florida, they've made sure that they've not completely just raised everything to the ground, that they want to keep some of that natural Florida land thriving, which is pretty awesome when you think about it. But that being said, there's still got plenty of room. Plenty of room to do what they want and pretty much anything they can think of. So let's there's a lot. There is a lot. So over at Animal Kingdom Park, for us park enthusiasts, they announced finally the Yeti inside Expedition Everest is gonna be repaired. So Expedition Everest, it's a roller coaster. As you're right, you're like mountaineers climbing, the Great Mount Everest, and in your climbing adventure, you encounter the deadly Yeti, the Bigfoot of the snowy tundra. And there is a very large, very imposing Yeti animatronic inside, because the roller coaster is not completely enclosed inside the mountain, but a good chunk of it's inside the mountain. And the Yeti, to be a surprise, is also inside the mountain, so that when you come across it, it's like, I didn't expect that to come. It's not out there where even if you're outside, like walking by, you're not going to see it or hear it. However, said Yeti has been broken, because it's a Disney animatronic. It's supposed to wave its arms and act like it's reaching for you, and it moves its head and it roars and its jaws open up and the eyes glow, and it's supposed to be very scary as you're sitting in this in this roller coaster seat, and you got this big ass Yeti looking like it's gonna have you for breakfast. And with time, Yeti's ability to move as much, to be as imposing, has stopped working.
Oh no.
Problem is that animatronic is encased inside this giant ass mountain that also includes a functional roller coaster. So they haven't
good.
they've done what they can. It does, if you're lucky and you catch Yeti on a good day, it will have a little bit of movement. like its head may move a little, it's still got the sound effects, its hand may vibrate a little, but not nearly to the effect. So what they did several years ago was put strobe lights in there and have the lights moving and turning off and on in a way that it tricks the eyes to make you think it's moving. And because of Disney fans over the years have given the moniker Disco Yeti. So at D23, they announced that they are finally going to properly fix the Yeti. And that they didn't necessarily go into what that would mean as far as like shutting down expedition, because essentially they're going to have to open up part of the mountain to access the parts of the animatronic, if not take the animatronic completely out to service it, because of where it's located. You can't just like unplug Yeti and walk out the door with it. Don't work like that. So that means Expedition Everest is probably gonna have to go down for a while they take it apart, essentially, at least partially, to get Yeti out and do what they need to do. Give Yeti a glow up, as it were. But because of Yeti's long-standing nickname of Disco Yeti, they wanted to make sure here at D23 that Disco Yeti got a proper send-off. So they brought in the Queen of Disco herself, Gloria Gaynor, to sing "I Will Survive."
Oh, I love it.
Complete with disco dancers. Oh my, that was hilarious. I was like, I did not expect that, but you know what? I'm here for it. So, we've also gotten some more details on the Indiana Jones attraction that is coming to Animal Kingdom. It is not going to be a copy and paste of the one that's out in California. Legend of the Forbidden Eye, something like that. Which is one of my favorites, one of my personal favorites. So no, this is going to be a completely new story. It's Indiana Jones. I want to get the name right. And the Myth of the Jade Serpent.
Ooh.
So of course there's going to be snakes. There's always going to be snakes.
Well, Indy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this is going to go in tropical Americas, which is where Dino Land used to be. But unlike his California counterpart, where the Indie animatronic is made to kind of look like Harrison Ford, but not necessarily an exactly look like Harrison Ford, because the time like when this is set, I think it's supposed to be like vague enough that you don't necessarily want to pinpoint Indiana Jones at a certain age, because obviously Harrison has been playing this character for a long time, so Indy looks different depending on what era you're talking about. So they've kept that Indy very kind of generic. However, in Florida, they are modeling the animatronic after Harrison Ford. So it is going to be Harrison Ford's face, from his eyebrows to the dimples on his chin, are going to be the face you see at this attraction. So, which is really cool. So, it's set at an ancient Mayan temple ruin, and it's gonna showcase both real creatures found in that part of the world and imagined part of the Mayan culture. Very connected to nature, which is very appropriate for Animal Kingdom. And of course, you can't call it myth of the jade serpent without there actually being a jade serpent, in this case a very large snake. Sorry, Dr. Jones.
Oh boy.
Yep. So that is exciting. We do not have an ETA on when that's going to be open, because this is part of a whole new land that is going in at Animal Kingdom. Also going in that land is well, I want to look at the Antonio's Fiesta de Encanto. So they are building the casita from Encanto. And it's a celebration of Antonio's gift, the ability to communicate with animals. And we get to tour the casita and see all of the family madrigal and all the different animals and all that fun stuff. And the entire voice cast of Encanto has come back to record lines for the attraction. And one of the best things about this attraction, no minimum height requirement. So
nice.
Good for the entire family, from very little to very old and very short to very tall. Which is very, very cool. And then there is also going to be a accompanying or kind of necessarily matching, but fits in theme, appropriately themed carousel, the El Carrusel de los Animalitos. Animalitos. There we go. Thank you. Obviously, Spanish, not one of the languages I've attempted in my life. So, it's going to be a carousel, which means it's going to have animals other than horses. If you've ever wondered what the difference is, and it's going to have 22 unique hand carved animals on this carousel, and some may be animal characters you might recognize from Disney film. Some of them just may be animals that are native to the Colombia. If you want to go look at the concept art, you can. Little spoilers there, possibly. So that is at Animal Kingdom. Then over at Epcot, Spaceship Earth is once again getting a facelift internally. Still call it a facelift if it's inside. It has been updated several times since its original version when it opened along with Epcot Center itself. But it has been almost 20 years since it last got an update. So the OG attraction, the script was narrated by Walter Cronkite. Since then, there have been 4 narrators. Last time I was on it was Dame Judi Dench.
Oh, wow.
Jeremy Irons is one. And off the top of my head, I cannot think of who the 4th one is. But Judi Dench is really the only one I've known. So it's the basic storyline, no matter what version you're talking about, follows the history of human innovation. So it's going to reimagine that focus. So instead of human communication, it's going to focus on human connection. And there are lots of different ways that we as humans can connect with each other. So that's quite fun. Then, of course, no idea who the new narrator is going to be. We'll all find out together when they tell us. And then for the for the OGs, so I never got to ride the original Journey into Imagination. I've seen video of it. I've heard audio of it. I know who Dreamfinder is. Lou has had the OG Dreamfinder on his show a couple times, actually. So I know a lot of people have wanted Figment and Dreamfinder to come back for a very long time when they changed it to the version with Eric Idle. It pissed a lot of people off. Of course, I don't have any emotional attachment to Dreamfinder or Figment, so I didn't know any different. The version with Eric Idle's the only version I've ever known. But apparently they're going to bring Dreamfinder back into the attraction. So we're probably going to have to say goodbye to Eric Idle. I'm sure they'll put some sort of Easter egg in there for him. Yeah, either his character's name or some sort of Monty Python reference would be my guess. So that was that. Hollywood Studios, biggest thing going on over there is Monstropolis, which is coming very soon. It's even got its own theme song, which was performed during the presentation. Welcome to Monstropolis, written by Disney legend Randy Newman. And this is the first time Randy Newman has written something for a theme park.
Ooh.
Or at least the Disney theme park. But Monstropolis is actually expected to open sometime next year. And included is going to be the Glob Theater. All the Shakespeare fans are going,
I get it now.
Yeah. There will be a show that includes the song Welcome to Monstropolis. The monsters in the show will introduce humans to Monstropolis and highlight how similar monsters and humans really are. Mike and Sully will be your hosts, of course. And if you get hungry or want to shop while in Monstropolis, you can go to Archie's Scare Pig Pizza. Archie, Fear Tech's six-legged mascot. So that'd be your go-to place for pizza. Next door will be the Monsters University Alumni Club. Let's see. Head down for a who's who of all the student clubs, fraternities, and sororities at MU. Inside the Alumni Club is the Elite Scarers Club, honoring the school's legendary scarers from years past. There'll be the Scareporium, which is where you will shop to get all your souvenirs, and all the Monsters Inc. and Monsters U fans, especially Monsters Inc., will be very excited. If pizza's not your vibe, that's okay, because you can go to Harryhausen's restaurant.
Ooh.
So Harryhausen will be there, famed sushi chef, as a animatronic. And yes, they will be serving sushi, among other things. Beyond sushi, they've not really said a whole lot about what type of food, other than a menu. Unlike anything else we offer at Walt Disney World, it will be a great place to bring your schmoopsy poo for a romantic meal. Oh. And then, of course, you have the attraction, the big attraction where you will be going, you're inside the facility with all the doors, and you'll be going in and out of doors, and they don't really give it a whole lot as far as the plot of the attraction. Apparently it's gonna be a very thrilling attraction. Like once you get on the ride vehicle, like you're gonna get like what do they say, like launch into the air like 40 feet in like a matter of couple seconds. And it's gonna be quite the woo. But all around Monstropolis, the idea is they're having Human Day, which is short for humans understanding monsters are nice. That's gonna be fun. So and then Magic Kingdom. We got some big things happening in the Magic Kingdom over in Tomorrowland. Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress has had its last go round at its current iteration, and is now gearing up for a whole new look and sound. It's still gonna have the same idea where you're visiting the same family in different decades, learning about the evolution of technology and how people interact with each other, how families go about their day to day as technology advances and the like. So this new version is going to start in the 1960s and then move to the modern era. But our family is getting some new voices. Mom and dad are now going to be voiced by Mom is going to be voiced by Jamie Lee Curtis, and Dad is going to be voiced by Bryan Cranston.
Ooh.
So that's exciting. So and it is going to include now the introduction of the attraction is going to include Walt himself, as opposed to the introduction that talks about Walt. So that is exciting. No idea what's going to happen as far as the music, though, because the original was penned by the Sherman Brothers, The Best Time of Your Life. That it switched to Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, also penned by the Sherman Brothers. And the attraction itself has not had a major update since 1994.
Wow.
So we will see what happens. See, so as far as bringing it up to now. So, but it'd be excited also to have Walt actually part of the attraction. I've seen the Walt animatronic in Disneyland. They could use a little tweaking as far as the face sculpt, but that was the first go round. Seeing how it does with fan reaction and running and everything, multiple times a day for a while. So hopefully they'll make some more tweaks with the version at Carousel of Progress. It looks even more like Walt, because it's like I have belief in these Imagineers and their face sculpts. They can really, really get there. If they really try. So, and then I think they are using Disneyland Goes to the World's Fair, which was a special from 1964 where Walt first introduced the Carousel of Progress. I'm assuming that that's where they're going to get the audio from, because the audio that they're using for Walt in California it's all Walt. It's all recordings of Walt, but they didn't have necessarily like a full-on recording of him saying what message they wanted him to convey. So it's cobbled together and then like cleaned up to try to make it sound like it's all part of the same like event where Walt said all these things at the same time. So in this case, they have an actual like special, so all of Walt's audio is there, and it's supposed to be cohesive. It's all part of one presentation. So I'm guessing that's where they're going to pull the audio from for the animatronic. So it should sound a little better too. But yeah, I'm always excited to have Walt be represented very obviously, because there's a lot of people that have no idea. You would think after 100 years of this company being in existence that people would realize that Walt Disney was an actual person. He's not Ronald McDonald, or Aunt Jemima, or what he's not he's not a spokesperson or a mascot. He was an actual person. Yeah, like kind of like Colonel Sanders. He was a real person. Yeah. And then we've got count them, 2 new lands also coming to the Magic Kingdom.
Say what?
I know. So first up, over by the rivers of America, we are getting hold on, I want to get the name right. It is the Piston Peak National Park. So over in California,
a Cars.
It is, yeah. Over in California Adventure, you have Radiator Springs.
Mm-hmm.
You're on Route 66. You're in Radiator Springs with all the shops and restaurants and all the stuff that you would expect. You have the Radiator Springs Racers, which is a fabulous attraction. But they did not want to copy and paste. When they first made the announcement that Cars was coming to Florida, a lot of people thought they were just going to copy and paste Cars Land. And it's like, no, this is going to be its own thing. So it's Piston Peak National Park. So essentially the equivalent of going to a national park, but in the Cars universe. And it's going to include things like Miss Fritter's Daredevil Spin-Along, which if you remember from Cars 3, Miss Fritter, the kind of sadistic school bus from the what are those called? Demolition Derby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From Cars 3.
Not roller derby, demo derby, but almost could be the same thing.
Yeah. So essentially you're going to be riding in a demolition derby. With Miss Fritter encouraging the entire thing.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
It's kind of like bumper cars, but you actually don't touch each other. Mm-hmm. It's just going to feel like you're going to. And then also the Cars Ridge Run Rally. And it's you're going to experience a quest to find the wildest racer in the wilderness as they compete for the fastest lap. So you will race through depictions of America's national parks, including a climb up Piston Peak itself, where it will be covered with ice and snow. And there'll be geysers, and you end up circling Old Tankful, the geyser, before sprinting to the finish line, where Lightning and Mater are there covering the race. But it's going to have all sorts of like off-road feel to it. So a lot of bumpy stuff, mud, water, tree covered trails. So They had a model on display at D23. Just the model, scale model, was 225 square feet.
Dang.
Wowza.
Because it encompassed the entire national park area. But still, that's huge. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen some scale models that Disney has done of entire lands, and they've not been that big. I've made a scale model myself for a Disney attraction, and it wasn't
we've seen
that
the
big.
Pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it was the size of like my, not even a dining table. So so that's really impressive. But they've said that Car Ridge Run Rally, that's gonna be a mouthful. It will debut a completely new ride vehicle designed not to simulate an off-road car, but to be one.
Ooh.
So guests will feel every bump, drop, and rock, because the vehicle's tires and suspension will truly be driving over and reacting to them.
Ooh.
Yes. So it ties in a little bit to Frontierland, which is right there. That's where you've got Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, among other things. So Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is known as the wildest ride in the wilderness. So this will be the wildest ride in the wilderness. So yeah, that's really cool. And then also at Magic Kingdom, we are getting our land dedicated to Disney villains.
Ooh, boy.
Appropriately called Villains Land.
So not Storybrooke.
No, because every other land pretty much in the Magic Kingdom is called something land. You got Frontierland, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland.
Sorry, I couldn't help but joke, considering Once Upon a Time Storybrooke almost turned into Villain Land for a while there.
It's like the Piston National Park, kind of an annex to Frontierland. So, Frontierland adjacent. Storybook Circus it's not really an entire land. Again, it's kind of more of a annex. So, but all the actual lands are called something land. So they're like, why, if it ain't broke, keep with the theme of the rest of the park.
Yep.
So yeah, it's gonna be Villains Land. So this is big. Not only literally but figuratively. So something that I know fans have been wanting for a while, actually. So this is going to be way more dark, obviously, a bit more spooky. So lots of classic characters from Disney Animation Studios. The story as a whole is new. The idea is that you get lost in a foreboding forest and you come across a wishing well that has been destroyed. Now, usually a wishing well would indicate good energy and good magic, but something very bad has happened to this wishing well. Once upon a time, someone made an evil wish. A wish so evil it corrupted the stone and broke open the structure, spreading the well's poison magic throughout the forest. And of course, the sinister setting is tempting for those with wicked intentions. So one by one, the villains have come here to try and claim the last of the wishing well's power. Villains Land will be shaped by those who've used this dark magic to conjure the perfect new lairs for themselves. These mighty fortresses and gleaming palaces not only reflect the personality of the villains who own them, they invite guests into a tantalizing treasure trove of treats, trinkets, and more temptations. They've said that the size and the scale is comparable to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, dang.
Which, I can't speak for the Florida version. From what I understand, they're pretty much, the same on both coasts, but I've been to the one in California, and that sucker's huge. It just keeps going and going. Like, while we were there, I probably said this to Chauncey several times, and I know I said it to other people since we've gotten back, and probably in my recap. Like, there were times where we were in Galaxy's Edge that I genuinely forgot we were in a theme park.
Oh, wow.
Because it's just so big and so well themed and so immersive that it's so easy to get lost into it. So the fact that at least size-wise, Villains Land is going to be similar in size, which means they are going to have so much space to use to make this so immersive and amazing. So, at the moment, there are plans for 2 major attractions along with shops and restaurants because, of course, we have to buy souvenirs and eat.
Hopefully they'll have some other Gothel stuff.
Yeah. The first is going to be a roller coaster themed around Maleficent.
Makes sense. Probably with the dragon.
You'll race through the Enchanted Briar, surrounding her frightening mountaintop fortress. It's the Imagineering team has said that this coaster is going to include elements they've never attempted before on similar attractions.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then the second headlining attraction will be a dark ride featuring a whole array of Disney villains hosted by the Magic Mirror. You'll find the Magic Mirror where the evil queen keeps him in the catacombs beneath her pristine palace. After you're making your way to him, he'll magically transport you to his mystical mirror realm to see things on the other side of the mirror. There, it is ethereal realm. You'll be transfixed by countless Disney villains conjuring in ways only the Magic Mirror can do. A combination of special effects and physical set pieces will bring his mirror realm and these iconic villains to life. So it's very, very exciting. But of course, all the Disney villains have egos and the like, and therefore, after talking about, the evil queen and Maleficent, someone felt a little left out and had to crash the party. You might know her as Cruella de Vil. And yes, it was Glenn Close. Putting on the costume and the wig, carrying the cigarette in that stupidly long cigarette thing.
The holder, yeah.
The holder. Wearing fur, of course. And that laugh. So, she probably has not put on that costume, that getup, in probably 20 years, at least. So, I'm kind of curious where they got the costume from, if that's one of hers, or if that's one that Disney had in their own archives, because she, along with some of her Cruella de Vil costumes, she's also donated a number of her other costumes to the archives at Indiana University in Bloomington, actually. You can't see them unless you know somebody, get you access to the archives. But yeah, some of Glenn Close's Cruella costumes are about an hour south of me in storage somewhere at IU's campus. I should ask Russell if he came across those when he found that lost horror film. So, but yeah, it's like she never left that
Right?
role. She was so good. I mean, you know, even if you don't want to watch the whole thing, it's towards the end. You can always scrub to it, or I'm sure you can just find a clip of that, on YouTube or whatever. But oh my god, I was laughing so hard because Glenn was just absolutely eating the scenery.
Mm-hmm.
She was killing it. It was lovely. Oh god, I loved it. Uh well, say what you will about live action Disney remakes. That's one they got right.
Right? And that was like one of the first ones too.
Yeah. It's like getting Glenn Close as Cruella de Vil is a stroke of genius.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good. So good. So and that's about it. I honestly that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know there's stuff that we've skipped over. It's just there's so much,
Mm-hmm.
and I know a
We're
lot
just
of the
hitting the main highlights.
yeah, I was like, and I know with the park stuff that if you don't go to the parks, you may not get it. And I don't mean that like in a, oh, you just don't get it. Like you don't know what you don't know.
Mhm.
Exactly.
You're not going to get the references. You're not going to understand like when they talk about the scale of something or, certain like ride technology or whatever. If you've never done any of that stuff, you just don't know. Um, but you can't help that. But, if you're a fan of innovation and people, you know, trying new things, pushing technology to give people who do go to places like this uh more innovative, more in-depth storytelling, making them forget that they are in the real world for a while. As much as I joke about, oh my god, I forgot I was in California while at Galaxy's Edge, that's the point. Walt wanted people to walk into his theme park and forget about the outside world, forget about your job, not literally, don't be, not in a flippant kind of way, but just like let all the worries of the outside world just
Mm-hmm.
kind of fade into the back for a while. Don't worry about your job. The kids don't have to worry about homework or doing chores and mowing the lawn and all the, going to the dentist, all that everyday stuff that just, could be boring or get you down. Walt just wanted people to go someplace where, you know, they would put a smile on their face, make their kids happy, make the parents happy, have a laugh, have a cry, have a, gasp of amazement, have something good and fun to eat. Buy a fun souvenir to take home with you so that when you see that, magnet on your fridge or whatever, you can go by like you can look at and remember back to your trip to Disney Park and go, that was really awesome. We should do that again. you
Mm-hmm.
know, that's what it's about. Yeah. And I've it's it's a hashtag first world problem that I'm somewhat annoyed that they keep literally breaking dirt on some of these huge projects in Florida because it's like I haven't set foot in Walt Disney World since 2017. It was like we did our last trip to Florida, and then we did our cruise, and then the world shut down for a while, and then of course that pushed a lot of the construction back because the world had to shut down for a while because like they were building Galaxy's Edge when we were there. You could see it over some of the construction walls because it was so big. uh but and then it's like once the world started opening up again and we started doing Disney stuff again, they were back into construction mode. So it's like, okay, let's check off some other stuff that we haven't done. So we went out to Marceline and did the museum out there. We've been back to Disneyland. So we've got to experience Galaxy's Edge and Avengers Campus, which I've been dying to do for forever since Avengers Campus opened. And so we've been able to, we've got to finally see, a Disney Broadway production, full length. We've only seen the truncated versions they show on the cruise ship, so it's not the full 2-3 hours worth of stage show you get in a proper stage show. So we've been able to check off a few things that we haven't been able to do, but it's like we are kind of itching to go back to Florida. If anything else, we got a lot of friends down there that we haven't seen in a while. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to go while so much stuff is under construction. To me, it just doesn't seem worth it. And these are big projects that are going to take a while to be done. We don't have an ETA of when the Cars stuff is going to be done. We don't have an ETA when Villains Land is going to be done, because they're such big projects. We're looking at probably a couple years at least, if not more, for Villains Land. So it's way more expansive than what the Cars stuff is going to be. But at the same time, it's like, once the dust finally settles and we get down there, it's going to be awesome. But in the meantime, I've got 10 more cruise ships apparently I need to sail. And I have all the international parks I need to visit too. So they have a Marvel themed hotel at Disneyland Paris. You know what hotel I'm staying at whenever we go there. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, like I said at the beginning of this episode, it's a great time to be a Disney fan. You're just gonna have to have a little bit of patience. Sorry about that. I have no idea.
That's okay. That's okay.
Talking all of a sudden, like everything went dark.
We both thought it was something on our end. We
my everything shut off, and I was like, at first thought maybe I'd accidentally unplugged it and the battery died, but no, it's like 80% charged and it's plugged in. So it's like, I think maybe I had some sort of power surge. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like that.
No.
So I think maybe that's a sign for me to shut up.
You talked about it too much already.
That and my tacos from Taco Tuesday are just sitting here getting colder and colder. So.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No cold tacos. That's no.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where the recording is gonna stop before it picks up again. So I'm just gonna say, if any of our listeners, and by listeners I mean you, Shalane, anybody else, but definitely Shalane. I know Shalane's gonna send in feedback, and she's gonna email us fiveishfangirls@gmail.com, and you can too. How's that? You can also go to our website, fiveishfangirls.com, where you can connect with all the things and all the stuffs. If you want it, you got it. Name that classic rock tune.
Roy Orbison.
That too. That's not what I was thinking of. I was like, if you want it, here it is. Come and get it. So
yeah, I was also going. You're going to go with the Badfinger reference too. Yeah. I was thinking that as well.
Either one works.
Yes.
So all the things on the web, and before stuff decides to go again, we're going to sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Bagel saying goodnight.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Okay, so with the Encanto stuff, they only showed us some concept art and then video of the cast in the recording booth. But I'm really excited to find out the context when Maribel says, "Whose donkey is this in the bathroom?" thank you, our Fiveish fam, for joining us on this week's geeky journey. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Stay connected with us on our website, thefivishfangirls.com, and follow us on most social media with @FivishFangirls. Plus, check out our nonprofit, Fangirls Give Back, to see how we're making a positive impact in our community. Until next time, stay nerdy and let the squee continue.